Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. Bill Bush, driverangeheroes.com, at Range Heroes on all the social medias. Joined by, as usually, Chris McEwen. ChrisMcEwen.com, at Chris McEwen on most social medias except Facebook. Chris McEwen, Capital Golf. Chris, how are you?
Good, man. It's good to be here. Good to be back. Another week.
8 days technically here.
That's right.
I feel like just for the conversations we're about to have, it's important to note we're recording this a day later than usual. So just topical roller coaster, and it's still going to throw off. And I try to do all my by the time you're watching this,
right?
We'll see what we can do. So what's up, man? How you been? How was your week? Anything good?
Nothing that great. You know, the reason we're doing this on Monday is because I went to go see a comic last night at Zany's in Old Town with a pal, which is always fun.
Was it fun?
It was pretty good. So it was a friend of a friend, right? So the guy I went with.
The friend was okay. I just thought it was some comic.
No. I was 1 degree away from knowing the comic. So the guy that I went with used to work with the comic. And so he's like, hey, you want to go with me to the show? And I was like, all right. Yeah, I didn't know who he was or anything like that. It was just like a guy. It's a Sunday night, 8:00 set. So like it's So Zany's in Chicago. I mean, that's kind of it was good though. It was, you went on for 45 minutes. You probably had a strong half hour of material.
Oh, I hope he doesn't watch the show and hear that critical comment.
He doesn't. But no, he was good. He was funny.
Turns out, huge golf guy, watches a lot of golf internet content on YouTube and your favorite channels.
But in relation to last week's episode about golf t-shirts, see this one.
Oh, that's pretty.
There's the Heartbeat golf t-shirt. It's
official. ChrisMcEwen.com. Huge golf guy. Huge golf guy. He's got a golf t-shirt.
Got the shirt to prove it.
Say true to fashion for me. Oh, it says vote on his shirt. He must be real political. Vote for Jethro. Yeah. Not Jethro Tull, mind you. It's some barbecue place my parents went to, I think in Iowa or something, and brought the shirt back. And it says on the back, "Don't go baking my heart." Like,
oh, man.
It's a good shirt.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh, I love this shirt. Let's not get it twisted. It was like, if you're like, oh, okay, barbecue guy, ha, ha, ha. But when you're just wearing it, people are like, wait, what's happening here?
Right.
And then when you're like, no, it's it's not just a funny shirt. It's from a barbecue place in Des Moines, Iowa or something. Yeah, I thought with all the cool politic talk lately, a vote for something was good.
Right. How's your weekend?
Let me tell you, I had a weekend. So where to start? So, as you know, because I joined you at the Chicago Golf Expo on Saturday.
That's right.
We'll get into that later. My wife and 2 kids went to Wisconsin for a nice long weekend with my wife's parents. I'm going to give you a short, abridged version. I wake up this morning, and my wife goes, hey, look at our son Liam. Look at Liam's eye. Thing looked like it was set on fire.
Oh, no.
Pink eye. Like, oh. Man, because, I haven't seen him for 3 days, so he comes home. He's 3, and not to brag, loves his dad.
Right.
And so, where are you? He's climbing all over me. I'm hugging him, and, and I go, well, guess we're just in a waiting game now to see what I get pink eye. And now, mind you, too, like, hey, she's out. I'm going to get some things done around the house and help out, pull some weight around here for once. And it's cleaning out the basement, getting rid of old golf stuff, which I'm sure no one believes, but I was.
Right.
Donating clothes and old toys, just really getting it done. Then I decided I'm going to paint my bathroom in the basement and replace all the hardware. Really productive. Yeah. And then I'm like leaving for work going, oh, great. Pink guy's just waiting to strike. Coronavirus, bad enough.
Right.
Oh, pink eye. But so yeah, that was the the Homestead weekend full of excitement. Just I don't know. Like as soon as I found out, I'm sitting there going, my eye immediately starts burning, and all day I'm like, oh, is it there yet? They're still
Right.
knock on wood, crystal clear, but just waiting to happen. And then, sure enough, like my mom's supposed to babysit him on Mondays. My daughter's dance. I'm like, oh, he's got pink eye, so we won't send him over. And she's like, I think I'm getting pink eye. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. No, you two haven't even been around each other. How are you getting it? Thankfully, like by the time she didn't, so she ended up watching him because of that reason. They were like, well, I already have it.
Right.
She didn't. She looked fine. I think she's okay. Well, who knows? Maybe my son just gave it to her, but
right. She was fine.
She's already got the drops anyway. Better
right.
safe. Sorry. So there's that, and then right before I hopped on with you, my daughter lost her tooth.
Okay.
Didn't even know it's no, it's they're just falling out like crazy these days. Yeah. She comes rushing down here with a tooth in her hand, and it's funny. No matter how much you get used to it, that first blush response, like, "Oh, what'd you do?" Oh, got it.
So since my kids are like in their late 20s, early 30s now, what's a tooth go for these days?
I don't know because I'm not a tooth fairy.
Oh, you don't manage the tooth fairy budget?
No, I do. Let me tell you. Oh, no, all right, she can't see this. I told her I would mention on the YouTube show she lost a tooth, so I just can't show her past this conversation.
Okay.
Past the mention. So
I screwed this whole. You should have warned me that this is
because
family viewing.
It is a good story, and I forgot. I can control this. We'll edit it out, actually. No. So when she lost her first tooth, of course, unprepared in the modern day of no cash.
Right.
Shame on us. And hear my parents going, you should really carry some cash. But even if I did, I'd have like 220s or something. It still isn't tooth fairy money. And mind you, it's like we live in a town where it's like I lost a tooth and lifted up my pillow, and it was 6 tickets to Disney World. You're like, all right, relax.
Right.
So my wife's like, do you have any cash? I'm like, no. Do you? No. And we're like, well, this isn't, 1951. I can't just put a shiny quarter under there. And then I remembered, in my garage, I found a box a while ago that was just like a bunch of crap. And in it was, from moves and stuff. And in it was this like small piggy bank. And I'm like, why do I have, and there's something in it. I'm like, what is this? Well, I opened it up at the time, and I think it was like $20 in those Sacagawea coins.
Oh, wow.
Remember those?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
So now every time she loses a tooth, because I can't keep them in the house. Kids are nosy. She'll find them.
Right.
So every time she loses a tooth, I have to go wait till she falls asleep, sneak out into the garage, shake 2 of those out of the piggy bank, and be like, here, Sarah, go sneak these under her pillow. Oh man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Might have to edit a disclaimer and tell your kids to stop watching, because I'm sure we get a lot of child viewership on this.
Right.
If you want to get into golf, little Johnny, watch this golf show.
Right. We'll do
sometimes golf show.
Some kind of a spoiler alert or something on there.
And knowing golf people, there's probably some grown ass man who still thinks the tooth fairy is real. But whatever. So yeah, that's it's been the interesting 3 days of the Bush household.
Yeah.
And then as I mentioned, we went to the Chicago Golf Expo.
Oh yeah.
I'll give you my take on it. And I feel like I got a few tales from it. I have not been there. I mean, literally for like 7 years.
Really?
And even then it was still pretty brutal. It's almost, I try to explain it to people. It's like, it's great. There's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of it's a lame, travel agency convention. And then it's like a flea market for golf. Correct. And when I say, I don't want that to fire off. When I say flea market, I mean, it's crap, just piles of crap.
It's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah. And,
sure.
At least back in the day, there's some diversity and different products or whatever. Now it's you might go, you can go get 10 golf shirts for $100. He's like, yeah, you can, but it is only Adidas,
Right.
only Under Armour.
Right.
Shoes vary a little. And so like if you're not looking to get absolute steals and you're like, well, I don't want to pay full retail, or I want to get last year's models, it's great. You can do fine. But I mean, I used to go and you could get like 1,000 whatever color tee you want, and whatever size. You get 1,000 of them for like $20.
Right.
You could get a case of golf gloves for like $50. And that era is sort of gone. The golf ball deals really weren't that great, but
I noticed that too. That's funny. I noticed that too about the golf ball deals. Because I thought about that, like, oh, maybe I'll just grab, I don't know, just a ton of boxes of balls, but it's like, nope, not worth it.
I saw last year's Bridgestone Tour. Let me see. I think I might even have it laying around. Nope. I'm a big deal. I only have this year's. Which is true. I just got the new Bridgestone balls for
I saw that
this week. But no, I saw last year's Tour BX for like, I want to say they were like $30 a box, and then it was like $25 a box if you bought two. And I was like,
right.
Wow, that sounds like a really good deal. I'm like, the reality is it's probably status quo and not that big of a steal. And it's just me like getting hungry to spend some money there. So I didn't buy any.
Yeah.
I don't need them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, and I think that's just sort of the way golf industry has gone. The margins have changed, the cost of things have changed, and it's just people are more aware of what things are. So it isn't like some guy's been hanging on to some gems and just slanging them at these shows.
Right.
But we still found some treasures, and we're pretty pumped about it. I'm gonna tell you. So I told you going into it, like, I have been in recent months pretty well educated on the old vintage stuff, like old cool persimmons, and
yeah,
unsurprisingly, I've gotten very opinionated about it, but not so much I think what you would expect from me, more in I've learned the difference between what's what and what's good, and basically not getting junk and getting ripped off.
Right. Right.
So as we're going through the miles and miles of old, 2-year-old clubs that aren't that great of a deal, and 1 million shoes and 700 pairs of Adidas pants in bad colors, lots of pleated khaki, and people watching. Oh, by the way, the people watching there, second to none.
I mean, it's a special place.
I could have sat there for 8 hours and just sat in a corner and watched people.
See, that's the thing. Like, I would like to, and I haven't. So we were walking around with the camera. Josh and I were running around with the camera doing some stuff. But you just gave me an idea for maybe next year. Like, what's the perception of the people that actually go there? Like, do they feel the same way we do about it? Like, or do they, what do they go for? Why do they come? Because it's full of people.
So I'm going to say this, and I told you this. I'm like, look, you did the show coverage last year. You're doing the show coverage again this year. You and old J-Riv are too creative for this. Like, next year you got to change up the format. I think maybe that's it. You do like man on the street at the golf show.
Yeah.
And you target weirdos. You target like
right
guys that are like way too overdressed at the booth, like the Arcadia Bluffs guys. And I think what you do, you take like your Lav Mics and just tape them to like the end of a golf club and use that as your microphone.
I like it. Yeah, we go and test every weird like swing trainer that's there, because that's a thing.
Oh no, we don't. We ask people in line, like waiting to look at, like, hey, is this something you're interested in? Would you mind if we like interviewed you and filmed some stuff on it?
And then give us a review of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. So continue on.
You have to do this for the mic though. Like, they'll be like, are you serious? And be like, we only run 2 of the most major golf media outlets on it. Obviously we're serious.
We've got a YouTube show. Thank you.
I mean, viewership's only going up. We're getting like almost 30 views a show. But let me tell you about my traffic and page views on my website.
Right.
Side note, changed my Google Analytics, and by that I mean I fixed it. Yeah, my page views seemingly are going way down. I'm like, oh, that's great. Whoops.
Yeah.
So I either broke my code or I just have been wrong for like a year and a half. We'll see.
Yeah.
I might have to go re-break it, and be like, no, inflate my numbers. It's fine. Just kidding. Now golf guys are gonna take that too serious.
I was gonna say something, but I won't.
You're faking your traffic, dude. My traffic's not good enough to fake. Okay. Anyway.
Okay,
so
right. Back to the
we're
show.
Strolling around.
Yeah.
And one of my driving range heroes, partners in crime, John Heisey, also like a cool vintage gear kind of guy. And we're walking by this like just scrubby looking area and just a huge rack of clubs.
Right.
And he goes, whoa, check out those old Hogans. My eyes see them and I'm like, nah, those aren't vintage ones. Those just got to be beat, recent ones. He's like, no, they don't look like. And the way I could tell was the ferrule, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's dope.
Like that's aged plastic,
yeah.
serial number on it. I'm like, it's like, I don't know, you can tell. You can tell like by the band, like this thing isn't recent.
Right.
So I pick them up and I look at them. Well, it's just so nice.
They're so gorgeous, man. I'm quite envious that you went and bought those. Those are fantastic.
Just paper thin too.
Yeah, I know.
So that was the 9-iron, if anyone's wondering. So, and to point out, I mean, we're talking like the original grip.
Right. Grips
with like reminders in them, original shaft.
Yep.
I would tell you what flex they are, but well, it's completely worn off. So just awesome. So they have a price tag of $75 on them. The guy doesn't even give me a chance. He just walks up, grabs them on a hand, looks at the tag. He's like, $45. I'm like, phew, you're making this hard. And I'm like, I don't know. Okay. Well, as I'm looking at that, old eagle-eyed Heisey sees further down a 2 to pitching wedge set of Mizuno MP14s. Now, they're not super old relative to, I mean, they're old,
right,
but it's not like they're from the 70s like these Hogans here.
Yeah.
So sneak peek, I ended up buying the Hogans, obviously. But I want to say they were priced like $250, something like that. Now, these were the irons Tiger Woods was playing when he won the 1997 Masters.
Right.
And they're, they're just widely heralded as one of the best irons ever made. So John's like, oh God, okay. So I don't remember if he bartered with the guy then. Yeah, he did. The guy was like 220. I'll do like 220 on the irons or something like that. So John's like, I'm like, So we go back. We both put him down. We go back, catch up with you. Went and hung out with the sub 70 guys for a little bit. Happened to be 2 bays down in the demo area from the Tour Edge guys and my
all your people.
Well, like one of my few buddies at Tour Edge happened to be there. Wasn't supposed to be there, but he ended up having to go. And he was there, so I said hi to him. But we spent a little time there. We walked around some more, and then we're wrapping up. And I think you guys went your way to kind of wrap up. John and I went. We're like, let's go swing by and see if that stuff's still there. We're kind of talking. We're like, hey, I think we should say to him, $200 for both sets of irons out the door. John's like, yeah, I can live with that. So we do, and the guy's like, I don't think it was so much the Hogans, but the Mizunos. He's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So like, all right, well, we're not doing a package anymore. I'm like, you told me I got you to $40 cash. He goes like $45 plus tax. But what about $40 cash on the Hogans? It's like, yeah, okay. So I buy them, and John's like, what about again He goes, I'll do $220 on both sets, and we balked on it. So John, he's like, I'm not doing it. And there's a little rust on the Mizunos. They had the cool old Golf Pride Victory grips. Those, for those who don't know what those are, they're the black ones with like the green arrows and stuff on them. Like when you were a kid, if you're
right
then 30.
Yeah.
So he doesn't buy them, but I got my clubs $40. Absolute steal. Didn't know a ton about them, and they're pretty clean. They're not mint by any means, but there's no like browning on the face.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pumped. Head home. Try to get a beef at Johnny's. You may remember a reference in my 18 questions to Michael Jordan post.
Right.
Best beef Chicagoland. I didn't have any cash on me though, because I gave the guy my $40 with the Hogans. So I literally walked out of Johnny's and went home. So like I go home, I go to Home Depot, get some stuff because I ended up while my wife is gone, decided I need to, like I said, paint my bathroom, and that was a slippery slope, and got into that project, which I have to finish now. And I was sort of like, all right, I'm gonna make myself something to eat for dinner. It's roughly 8 o'clock at night, let's call it.
Yeah.
I'm home by myself, and I'm like literally picking up my phone to text John, like, so when are you going back tomorrow? As I'm holding my phone, I'm going back to get those Mizunos tomorrow. I'm like, I was literally just about
That's
to ask
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, at like 9:30 in the morning, I got a picture of him with the orange sticker from buying it with the irons. And I'm like, that's awesome.
That is
So
awesome.
I think he ended up getting, I won't say, I don't know who watches, but he got him for like a relative to the worst case scenario. He flips them and breaks even.
Yeah.
But like, got a really good deal on him. Brings them home, and just like with a little bit of elbow grease and something to take off some goop.
Yeah.
They're just
shine right up.
Mint.
Yeah.
Mint. And then, yeah, there's a little rust like still in the grooves. I'm like, just get a steel brush and some CLR. Fixed.
Yeah.
But he's like, well, we'll see. Yeah, I'll get to it eventually. But like, I mean, he goes, I don't think these have ever hit a ball.
Really?
So not a bad,
wow.
as much as I badmouth it. And, I didn't see the other, like, these to me were the gems.
Yeah.
And, there wasn't like, oh, a mint Scotty Cameron, Terillium, Newport, nothing like that. But
yeah.
I think we walked out of there and they were steel. So then after, I bought the Hogans, we were reconvening at sub 70 again. And I'm like, hey, check these out. And on the way to walking back, not kidding, when I was carrying, it was like 3 people stopped me. They're like, whoa. What year do you think, where'd you find those?
Yeah.
What year do you think they are? And I'm like, I know, guys, I'm kind of the big deal of the golf show right now. What can I say? So we get back to sub 70, and our guy Jay, he was sort of like talking by the clubs, and Jason was testing with people who wanted to try the stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, let me see those. God, these are amazing. They're beautiful. He's like, you got to go hit them. So I grab one of their irons, so I at least like look legit standing in line. And Jason's like, so we get up there, and Jason's like, oh,
yeah,
are you
hitting
now?
All into it. Yeah.
I go, yeah. He's like, can I hit him? Now the grips are like slick plastic. So, I mean, we were certain they were going to fly out into the net, but man, so there was like us, the sub 70 guys, John, like just whacking away at the 1973 Hogans. And, the lofts are so weak, so I'm hitting 7 irons like 30 yards shorter than normal. But man, feel when you get one, squeezing life out of it, they feel and sound. It almost makes you go, oh, so this is what golf clubs used to feel like, and this is what we're chasing. Never mind.
Right.
Aside from Euro, we're all way off.
Right.
God, they were nothing short of amazing, and I couldn't be happier with that $40 purchase.
Yeah, that's a steal. Good for you.
I can't wait. And I'm like, oh, special occasions. Like, watch my handicap go up like 6 points this year because I refuse to play with anything but my crusty grip, old school, weak Hogans. So I belong to like a persimmon and blade group. But it's like on Facebook of all these old guys into it, and they don't play anything but and collect and know all the history. Yeah. Like Tad Moore is a member of the group.
Really?
Wow. I want to say like George Palambi, just all these old school, like frankly golf legends.
Yeah,
the guys, some Wood brothers, just all of them are in there. It's like, man, I felt special when I got that invite. And so I didn't know anything about the clubs at the time, and I posted in there like, hey, does anyone know anything about these, just to give me a rough idea of when they're from, whatever. And of course, everyone's arguing over it. We end up figuring out in 1973, but man, if I didn't walk a little higher from those guys, like going, wow, you found a beautiful iron. They're like, you need to play those. You need to appreciate those. I'm like,
that's awesome.
Guys, I'm a huge golf guy.
Knew it. I knew it.
So pumped.
I knew it. Yeah.
So how did the show go for you guys? I mean, I was trailing you a little bit, carrying your camera, and pitch my own site, vouchforchrismckeown.com, and quality video work you guys do.
It was good. I mean, we were there for what, 6 hours?
It was long.
Yeah, we were there for a long time, but yeah, it was good. We saw the sub 70 guys, which is great. Got to hit some of the Wilson stuff, the D7 Forged and the V6, which I love their stuff. Love it. It's so nice, and it's just a great feel. I don't know what it is about. I hit the D7, whatever it is, just the D7, I guess, last year.
It's not that nice.
No, it's not that nice. And I would replace the clubs in my bag with those because I'm kind of a hipster that way. I'd be like, forget it. These are my clubs now.
Now, to be
I wouldn't
fair,
even mess with new stuff.
Wilson did make just as good of clubs in that. Like, they were
In that era, sure.
a belle of the ball in that era.
Sure. But yeah, it was fun. It was good. You know, we were working, so we did a bunch of video, and then of course last year when we went, it's basically how we planned our travel. So we went and talked to a bunch of different you were there, a bunch of different travel booths, and pitched them our ideas and stuff like that. So it was pretty good though.
I wonder if we'll tag along on any of those since we were there.
You should.
Well, I know we could. I mean, like, if we'll be like, it's too much work, we're not doing it. I think there was a little element of, you were like, why aren't you guys like doing more? And we're like, because.
Well, you're doing it, Chris. It's fine. We'll just pick and choose where we want to go.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, it's too much work. We're busy looking for the best deals here that we know don't exist.
Right. We're still thinking about our clubs that we're going to buy.
Hey, I think we did like I said earlier, I think we did a pretty good job though, being like, hey, no, they're my quote unquote, they're our competition, and I'm carrying his camera and vouching for him. How about my gimbal work too? Not a big deal.
I would turn around and see my camera spinning in a circle on the gimbal. Like,
that's what a gimbal's
sure
for.
It's fine.
How do you? I mean, if astronauts can do it and live, your camera's fine. It's not like I dropped it. And you know what? If it fell off, that's your guys' fault. Learn how to secure a gimbal. For those not watching, the gimbal's a thing you put a camera in to keep it steady as you move.
Right, makes it nice and smooth as you walk around. You've seen them before you've seen them used. I can tell you that much. They're used all the time.
If you watch ChrisMcEwen.com videos and projects, it's heavily used.
Big camera guy.
big camera and video production guy. So that's the golf show.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about that quite a bit. So what's going on in the golf world? I saw all that Brooks Koepka GQ stuff and heard buzz about it. I'm like, and he was kind of getting made fun of for it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, he looks awesome in GQ. Who we kidding? I wish I looked like that. So
there were some things. So it's GQ magazine. So if you're not familiar with GQ magazine, Bill,
Gentleman's Quarterly.
Often they will put their subjects in very expensive clothing.
Yep.
As part of the interview and kind of do the subliminal advertising that way, right? But the problem was Brooks was trying to make a point about how golf was stuffy and how the rules kind of like, precluded you from having fun and whatever. The problem was he's wearing like a $900 tank top in the picture right above his whole spiel. And really, he wasn't talking about the stuffiness of a public course. He was complaining that he had to wait for a member to show up to play a private course. It's like, I can't even go into the clubhouse until the member gets here. Like, what is that? That's so stuffy. Like, dude, like you're missing the whole point of the thing. Like, you still sound like a golf elitist, even though you're complaining about the game.
Well, and that's what killed me. It's like, he's not wrong, but
he's not wrong.
He's just not doing it right.
No, he was not. It was not coming through well at all. Like, dude's wearing like, his whatever those Tom Ford jeans that are $800, $900 shirt, and he's like, yeah, the game is boring and stuffy. And although he's trying to have it both ways too. Is the other piece of it is, at one point you'll ask, he talks about like, well, I just try harder for the majors, or they're easier to win, or whatever, and they ask him about practice. He's like, I don't really practice that much, and he tries to play it off like, I'm not a golfer. I just happen to be really good at golf. Like he tries to play it off the way. And then in GQ, he's trying to spin it the other way. Like, of course I love golf. Of course I practice, blah, blah, blah. Like, all right, dude, like, come on.
It kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Cause it's like, I mean, I still like him. I think of all the people we don't like, and he doesn't fall into that category, but you're almost like, I think he was accused of kind of just being like a nothing to say meathead, and he was okay with that for a while. And then he hit that point where he's like, I'm not this, and it's getting old, so just
Right.
stop. And
Yeah.
that's where this is starting. I'm like, I wish he just stuck with being like, I don't know, golf's dumb. I wish I like baseball and hockey better, which he's said multiple times.
Right. Yeah.
Just stick with it. And at the
Yeah.
same time, like, I also, who cares? Say whatever you want to say.
Well, that's what it comes down to. Like, whatever side he chose, A, someone's gonna, blast him for it, but B, like, who cares, man? Like,
Yeah.
Whatever. Although I'll say this: if he doesn't win a major over the next few years, like, he's just gonna fade into the background. No one's gonna care if he likes golf or not.
Well, and it isn't true. He doesn't win anything else.
Right.
I can't wait. Well, I always say this, but my computer came unplugged. God, there we go. I didn't want to run out of power mid-show.
God forbid.
God forbid we'd have to start a new Skype. You'd have to splice it together with a J cut or something. I learned from a big production guy.
Yeah, that's fun.
But like, yeah, someone's like, "Oh, he's won other tournaments." Like, I know, but you get the point. Just
right.
Just leave, like, just Brooks. Just be Brooks.
Right.
Stop.
Maybe he doesn't know who Brooks is. Maybe he's got to figure that out still. You never know.
You went real deep, and I love it.
Meanwhile, this past weekend, your guy was in contention.
Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my guys. Oh, check this out. Vote for Jethro. I didn't even think of this. So when I bought my house, my brother-in-law said he's had this, and he's like, I thought this would be a good housewarming present. He's like, you'll care about it more than I do. Signed bottle of Luke Donald's wine.
Come on.
Yeah. And it's probably gross because I store it like this in my office. Well, let's be honest. I don't care about drinking. I should be doing this so the cork doesn't, rot.
Right.
Get dry. But, like, let's be honest. I have it because it's a golfer's wine. It's a 2006, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a big deal.
Had he won, would you have popped that cork? And
no, because I would have forgotten I had it just like now. And I went, oh, it's up there. But yeah, so Luke Donald was in contention, and he's been getting a lot of heat for a while now about how he's just lost his game. He's not going to be good anymore. And do you remember how good his wedge game used to be, and now he sucks. Oh, he can't putt. I guess fair enough criticisms.
For those that are new to the game, he was number one in the world.
Well, that's what I say. Like, forget.
Yeah.
Old Luke was number one in the world for a while.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a flash in the pan. It was
no.
This was a good while where people held on to it, didn't flip flop. Of course, he was like, that was a lot of the how can you be number one in the world without winning a major, blah blah blah. But man, that guy was a machine with the wedges and putter.
Yep.
So it's good, and he's like just known for being a good guy. Quiet, but good
Chicago guy. We've adopted him.
Yeah, it counts. I mean, he's got a house here, so
right. He pays taxes. We'll take him.
I'm sure. No, somehow I bet his taxes are routed through his Florida address. Right. That state income tax, not a big deal.
He's got a P.O. box in Florida that he's
right. Luke Donald Incorporated's there.
Right.
Yeah, so hey, this guy's in contention. He's not a nobody. And then it's old news by the time you're watching this, but I want to say it was it Saturday or Friday? Yeah, Saturday. He's the leader of the tournament after 36 holes.
Right.
And they announced him on the tee as the 2016 champion when he won the tournament in 2006, I think.
Yeah, right.
And then so he's won this tournament, and we can't get the year right. And then Luke McDonald.
I know. Oh, so brutal.
Ryder Cups. He's won Ryder Cups.
Right.
Won a lot of tournaments, albeit no majors.
Right.
Number one in the world for a long period of time.
Luke
McDonald. He's going for it.
Eagle.
Come on, man. So, yeah, it's like this poor guy. He's, sure enough, he plays okay Saturday, and then Sunday, it's like, I think that guy did it to him. I was watching the early Golf Channel. They showed on Golf Channel before Network later. was watching the Golf Channel coverage. They're announcing Luke Donald on the tee. The guy gets everything right this time.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I feel like there were a few jeers, and one of the announcers was like, "What a difference a day makes." God, they're even calling him out. It was good. But yeah, so it was good to see him there. And then Westwood, I don't want to even go into the whole Azinger, like, oh, these guys playing the Europeans.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
My guy Poulter, he's like, I respect him. I get on with him. He's a good guy, but like, this is dumb. I can't wait for him to be like, but he's not wrong. Like, just, you don't need to say it. Like, just leave it alone.
Right.
But yeah, Westwood, was in contention for a while. I wasn't surprised to see him not win. But I think the Westwood resurgence over the last couple of years has been pretty fun to watch. And remember that first win he had, it was European Tour with his new, I don't know if it's his girlfriend or wife, I can't remember, they're married, but she was on the bag all week. And you think like, she's small, just like, how do you like that? Be like, I don't have a real caddy. She's just kind of doing it. And we're out here to have a good time. Oh, wins a tournament and like has a 45-year-old's career resurgence and is relevant. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Another really good guy, Lee Westwood.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
He seems like fairly normal.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. Yeah. That's sort of the European thing, right?
It's true.
They have a more everyman approach. And I wonder if it's not like in the European culture, golf isn't known as the rich man's stuffy game. We've all seen Greatest Game Ever Played. Harry Vardon, wasn't allowed to be a member.
Right.
But it feels like it's just a little more I don't think available per se, but
just approachable.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Well, even like when I go over there, there's like guys who are like, I just play 9 holes. I'm nobody. I'm not even good. And like, that's fine.
Right.
Where here it's like, whoa,
right.
You don't belong to a country club.
Right.
Oh, sorry, dude. I wish. No, I don't. I just wish I had lots of friends who belong to all these cool courses because I've been to the history and stuff. But
right.
Yeah.
So I wish I could belong to a country club, but chose not to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wish I was pursued by country clubs and be like, you know what? That's okay. You can host me for a weekend. It's fine.
Yeah. Anytime you want, I'll come, but I can't join. I just can't do it. Right. My wife will kill me. And that's the only reason why. That's the only reason. So let's get into some of our content. You mentioned either a show or two ago, or maybe it was in the lost episode, about you were officially linked up with your new Golfin coach, which is becoming a long ongoing theme on our show. We talk about golfing a lot.
It's true.
They're getting their mileage out of working with us. Jeez. Make sure I point that out. So you got paired with Sam at Golfin to start doing your long game work. Yeah. Well, I don't know that.
Right.
Tell us.
It's true. So Sam's my new golf coach, and we had our first consultation. So after you sign up, you take like an online survey or whatever, and you kind of go through, what you want to work on, what your misses are, what your flaws are, blah, 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 what your scores are typically. And then you get paired up, and I got paired up with Sam. We sat and had a half-hour consultation. There's a couple of apps that you grab, right? Like the Golfin app and then the Coach Now app. Did you get that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you download the Coach Now app, and then it walks you through. So now, and I'm hoping on Sunday we're going to have some nice weather.
Noted.
Okay. And because I need to do like the down the line and front facing swings.
Like good thing you have all those cameras and tripods and gimbals. So you can do this all by yourself.
Right. But the problem is you got to see like a full swing and the head on where I usually go, the Des Plaines driving range. You can't really do a head on shot. So I got to get to a place where I can.
Head on, like you're hitting at the camera?
No. Head face on, like right here.
Like this.
The camera's facing me. Right.
Okay. Oh, right. You need less space to do that than you think.
You think so?
I know, because I did it within the confines of hitting bays in domes.
Okay. That's surprising. All right. Good to know.
Worst case,
maybe I'll do it Wednesday.
Use an iPhone claw and your phone, like your iPhone. Yeah. Just put your phone up. It's even better because you can just have it facing you. It's my kids. have it facing you. Let's turn that off. That's weird. Have it facing.
There I am.
Yeah, your own reflection. And have the, flip the camera around and you can just set it up and you'll get your whole swing in there. Just make sure you have like where you actually contact the ball and it's not like to the middle of your shin and he's missing half of what he needs.
Right. Well, that's the challenge. So, all right, I'll give that a shot. What's today? Monday, Wednesday, probably.
Listen, but I can figure it out. Big production guy like you can figure it out.
Right.
What did he have? Anything interesting to say?
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of, I think his big thing is, and I really liked it, was that he wants to become redundant to the point where he's no longer needed, right? So he's gonna get me on a path to hit the shape I want to and hit the ball the way I want to, and then at a certain point I'll be like, all right, on your way.
When it's not going well, I can look and be like, oh, because I'm not doing these things.
Yeah.
Well, and that's sort of where I feel like I've gotten with my stuff. So my guy messaged me through Coach Now this week. He's like, hey, I hope you've been able. He is sort of, I don't want to say it was passive aggressive. That's kind of being too dramatic, but it was sort of like, so have you practiced? And I'm like, well, yeah. Before I reply, I better go to the Dome real quick. So I went to the Dome this weekend.
Did you?
And I mean, every time I go out, like when we went out the other weekend, every time I go, it's like I can feel it getting the changes he's made and the things I've done, getting more and more comfortable and more familiar, and just how it's all working out, how it feels, setting in more. But I still hit bad shots, but I don't like the difference is before I'm like, I don't know why I'm hitting bad shots. Now I hit a bad shot. I go, oh, because I did these 3 things, this thing, whatever. Right. So it's not so much like I need him to coach me. I don't need him to give him a video.
Yeah.
I want to be able to get to a point where it's like, oh, I can get on the camera, hit 10 good shots in a row. Be like, I'm hitting 10 good shots. They're all in the right part of the face. They're going where I want. What do you still see?
Yeah.
But then I'm doing this all on mats now. And I kind of feel like until I go out and face my arch nemesis, grass, and have to hit little, like, just clip balls off the top of the turf with no divot or take divots, but basically have to play shots, as he says, off lies you're not practicing and, stuck with a bunch of grass behind it, in front of it, clean, plugged, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like I just kind of need to keep driving the muscle memory in, but until I get out on grass, I'm sort of at a standstill. I need to keep practicing. The repetition's good. I'm not saying that, but I feel like I don't really have much to update him until because I fully anticipate I'm going to go out and be like, oh, I know how to hit wedges again. Go to a grass driving range for the first time. Like, oh shit, I have no idea. Or it's going to be when, I just got a note. My local course is opening Wednesday and I'll go play 18 holes, one of these weeks or weekends.
Yeah.
And I'll have that first 60-yard wedge shot into a green, like, no problem. And hitting these, I figured it all out.
Right.
And it's just going to be that.
Right.
Oh, so now I have 20 yards and then, all right, I don't want to do that again. Just blading. I'm like, well, right back where we
Here we are. Right.
So I feel like that's going to be the next big update I have. And hopefully, it's sooner than later.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing that was, I did remember now is that Sam was excited because he's never coached a former baseball player.
Oh, because he's English.
Right. So he's like, oh, I get a baseball player. I'm like, well, yeah, you get a baseball player that likes to pull everything between short and third base. So
I was going to say, why is that exciting to him? Because he's heard the stories about how the baseball swing infects the golf swing and vice versa. Okay.
Now he gets to see it in real life. So
do you know what's funny? I never had that issue when I was playing both. And who knows, maybe that's because hockey took care of that, balance it out.
Yeah.
But now, if you put a baseball bat in my hand, and it's a decent little hitter, your boy could hit it. If I tried to swing say I went and took batting practice somewhere, they're lobbing them in there. I should be able to just tee off on some of them.
Right. Really?
I feel like so on my front foot. I think of our coach would be like, you don't really put any weight forward. You don't even need to lift your foot.
Right.
You just kind of have to point it, but your weight all stays back. You squish the bug, so to speak.
Squish the bug. Yep.
Dude,
the U of I coach.
I would be thrown so hard into my front leg trying to like drive the shit out of the ball.
You're like Frank Thomas trying to hit the ball. Remember when his back leg would come off the ground?
Yeah, and he was like
he would post hard on his front leg.
485 pounds of like pure muscle, and just like one arm could. Yeah, how many times you just like flicking his wrist, and you're like, oh, 560 feet center field.
Right.
Oh, he's on juice. I'm like, that's not juice.
No, that's just a big dude that can hit a golf or hit a baseball. Yeah.
Everybody's on the juice to catch up to that.
Right.
Birth size. I mean, I remember his big deal is his rookie card was actually him in his Auburn uniform as like a college picture.
Yeah.
And I had it, and I'm like, God, he's just a man child in that too. He's a beast. But yes, that'd be me swinging a bat, except minus all the Frank Thomas success. Yeah. So golfing's going good. Oh, actually, it's funny you mentioned the baseball part of it, and I thought of this when you mentioned it. My guy, Andy, was like, and he said it. He's like, think about when a baseball player, like at bat, and I'm like, oh, he actually knows some of the terminology, but okay, it's easy enough. And he like slips in, and I don't know if I had it on my face, but he's like, see, I spent quite a few years as a golf pro in Jamaica. They are into baseball there, so all the American baseball would be on in places. So he's like, so I know baseball a little bit. It's like, wow, all right. And he legitimately does. He's talking about. It's funny because he'll talk about like throwing motions. Like, so if you're a pitcher, and he's like kind of doing the pitching stride, but like it looks like a guy who grew up with cricket and stuff.
Right.
But still like looks baseball-y, enough where I'm like, no, he's right and the point's valid, but like it's not the same. Like you get like if you and I were demonstrating baseball.
Right.
But yeah. You guys have any equipment stuff coming up?
I don't have any equipment stuff that I can think of.
That's not true. You do have one thing. I know you have some Lambkin grips.
I do have some. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a lot of Lambkin stuff that's going to come up and around here sooner rather than later, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's some that's there already.
Not at my house.
That's true.
At Josh's house. He's going to come over. I'm sure he'll come over here and want to install them, which is funny because Josh has a garage and I have a balcony that's, 140 feet off the ground, and he'll come over to my balcony and we'll put grips on.
Or he has my house 2 minutes away.
That's true. And you'll pump it full of alcohol.
Like, Josh, just sit there and have a soda. I'll take old Uncle Bill will take care of this.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, no, I was actually just in conversations with Lampkin today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that. Nothing beats having a few grips around the house.
No, especially when they're Lampkin grips.
Not a shameless plug. We love Lampkin grips. Trying to think. Yeah, we had our review when you're watching this. We had a review go up last week for the UST Helium Black. Oh, still leaning against.
Oh yeah, the very popular UST Helium Black. Yeah.
There you go. Flip it around for you. Oh, hey. So, interestingly, they had a silver version of this, which we also did a review on a while ago. But this is getting used by a lot of OEMs for one of their, like, stock upgrades.
Right.
And the whole principle, and a lot of companies were doing this, a few years ago, but creating these super lightweight shafts with a goal of adding stability. So theoretically, a lighter weight shaft, you can swing faster.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, when people started doing this, it screwed up my tempo real bad. So they then started counterbalancing them. So more weight toward the butt end of the shaft, if you will. So modern clubs are heavier. So the shaft, if you don't counterbalance it, can feel a little bit like sledgehammery at the end.
Yeah.
To exaggerate the point. So this shaft is supposed to be, I want to say the extra stiff version is like 50 grams or something like that. They're light.
Yeah.
Which is, for not a golf nerd, that's very light for an extra stiff shaft.
Right.
God, I'm sorry, Mom.
You're the worst.
Golf is the worst for the youth. Anyway, so this one, I've given it credit now 2 times. It doesn't really have that problem for me. It's easier to control. And I think it's because they figured out how to get these lightweight shafts balanced better, but they also are like using different materials. And it's not just about using the material, but when Victor was on in your place, he talked about a little bit. You have to place the certain materials in certain places to get it just right. And then, UST did a really good job of doing that in this shaft. So now I still think it's too light for me, and it's not conducive for me. I'm hitting the ball higher, too much spin. I could play with it. I could survive just fine, but it's just not optimal, right?
Right.
But it's you can see where it would be a great stock shaft. So maybe it's someone who doesn't have as much club speed. They need a little help getting the ball in the air, so it carries more. Little spin wouldn't hurt them because the spin will hold it in the air, won't just dive bomb into the ground. So, I mean, Callaway, I think, is offering it as a stock option. Nope, they aren't. Cobra is for sure. It was a big deal they were adding in Cobra for some people, but I think people are going to be, at least for this season, hot on that shaft, and it's going to get a little bit of attention. Probably get Googled a little bit. Take that on my site. But yeah, it's a nice shaft. I think people.
Interesting.
I'm spending a lot of time talking about it, which I think I could see some people like, who cares? It's not that exciting. But I do think it's going to be of interest to a lot of people. So I'm bringing it up now. Then, as you're watching this on Thursday, hopefully, if you're not, go back to Monday, March 2nd. We had our review officially go up for a driver we've talked about on the show once, the Callaway Mavrik Sub Zero. And, Callaway's been hot for a few years now. I would say since that original Epic came out with jailbreak technology and all that. And of course, when people start doing stuff like that, everyone, starts pointing fingers at gimmicks and whatnot. But I really like the Epic. I didn't love the Rogue, but it was still very good. We didn't mix well.
Okay.
I love the Epic Flash Sub Zero. That was my gamer last year. Shocking. The Mavericks are very, very good.
Yeah.
Again, I mentioned it, I think last show and it's just so solid. They made the Sub Zero 10 cc smaller. And I don't know if there's a better looking club at address. I'm not telling you it's for everyone, the Sub Zero, but the Maverick Sub Zero might be the best looking club behind a golf ball when it comes to drivers this year. No disrespect to anybody else in the game. It's just nice. And they got rid of the perimeter weight in the rear of the crown. So that's one, it brought weight back, which you can still do, but it made it so you could adjust your left-right flight.
Oh, okay.
Where we put it.
Yeah.
So the sliding weight, they had brought it into the jailbreak heads for the first time for Sub Zero.
Right.
The regular Epic has had that, but I think that's fine. The Flash Sub Zero stuff, Epic Flash stuff is still considered current model. So I think now they have more of a, they're distinguishing between the two lines, and they're kind of going every other year on them. So it makes sense, but I can't tell you. I haven't hit the other ones yet. Is this going to be like widely appealing? I don't know, but I think the Maverick Sub Zero for good T players is going to be a highly coveted driver this year. Feels great, sounds great. I mean, so far it's early in the year, but performance is good. Admittedly, it's going head to head with the new Cobra. I'll admit it. The two of them are both so far pretty good. I haven't had enough time to distinguish the two of them and figure out which one just performs better consistently for me yet, but real nice problem to have. I'm really excited for it. I think they don't need me to sell it. Callaway's been selling their club themselves recently, the last few years, but it's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. There's nothing else I can really say about it.
All right. You can go read more about it, right?
You can go read more about it at driverangeheroes.com. If it's not in the featured slider at the top, just search Callaway Mavrik driver. You'll find it. That's Mavrik, by the way, not like Maverick Lieutenant Pete Mitchell.
Right. I almost want to buy it just because it has a K in the name of it. I mean, how often is that going to happen for me where a name of a driver or a club is going to have a K in it?
I mean, didn't Ping have a whole line of drivers that was like K something?
When? Probably before I started playing.
No.
They're G now. They're in the G series.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter in order. Well, I think this is a thing that we could research and find. There's plenty of stuff with K's in it.
You can do that for me. Thanks.
Part of me is like, yeah, not a chance. And I could see me totally texting you tomorrow, like, oh, I Googled for the last 2.5 hours, and here's the results. It's a silent K. It's called a knowledge. You're gonna be like, God, I hate you. I don't.
All right, man. What else you got? Anything?
No, can't think of anything else. Guess I could check a calendar and really tell you more content to look at, but you know what? We got plenty of time, plenty of these shows. I can tell you about things I think are interesting.
That's true.
In the meantime, looking forward to seeing that video we worked on coming out, and then your super serious Chicago Golf Expo video.
That's right.
Getting it up.
Our video is. I'm looking forward to sending you another little taster of it.
Oh man, I can't wait.
It's been pretty fun. It's been pretty fun to make. It's been a different kind of challenge, but it's been pretty fun to make.
Well, yeah, it's just gonna blow open the doors, and people are gonna want us to do more of this.
Right.
I know it.
Right.
Side note, I gotta get my SD card back from you.
Oh, that's where that card came from. Yeah. Remind me when we play golf on Sunday, I'll bring it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna happen. All right, man. Well, hey, as always, find yourself some Chris McEwen content at chrismcewen.com.
Right.
This YouTube page. Well, if you're watching this from our site, go to Chris's YouTube page. Like, subscribe, comment, give it the thumbs up. Go watch other videos. Do him a favor. Follow him at Chris McEwen. I almost said at Range Heroes. At Chris McEwen. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, FaceSpace, MySpace, whatever. And Chris McEwen Golf on Facebook.
That's right.
You can find my wonderful content as well as my colleagues Tommy and John. Hey, Tommy John, you listen to podcasts? We don't run into it often, but maybe one day they'll sponsor our show. You can find their content. It's better than mine anyway. DriveRangeHeroes.com, at Range Heroes on all the social media. Follow us. We'd really appreciate it. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, Chris.
Good talk.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
I look forward to the Google results tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'll make sure I get those to you ASAP.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Bye, Chris.